Start speaking now.
Hey, Ben, I know it can feel discouraging to look at feedback, especially when it highlights your weaknesses. However, ignoring your teacher's comments is one of the fastest ways to stay stuck. Feedback isn't criticism, it's guidance. If you keep repeating the same mistakes, your academic progress will naturally slow down because you're not correcting the root problems. I would strongly suggest that you start reviewing feedback carefully after every assignment or test. Instead of just checking your grade, focus on the specific comments your teacher has written. Try to identify patterns in your mistakes. Once you notice a pattern, work on that area deliberately. You could even ask your teacher for clarification if something isn't clear. Avoid rushing into the next task without reflecting on the previous one. When you treat feedback as a tool rather than a judgment, you turn mistakes into learning opportunities. That shift in mindset can significantly improve your performance over time.
Start speaking now.
A time when I learned from a mistake was when I launched an important project without testing it properly. I was excited and confident, so I focused more on finishing it quickly rather than reviewing the details. Shortly after releasing it, I realized there were several small errors that could have been easily avoided. Although the mistakes were not disastrous, they affected my credibility and made me feel embarrassed. After reflecting on the situation, I understood that my main problem was rushing and overconfidence. I had assumed everything was correct without carefully checking my work. From that point onward, I developed a habit of reviewing tasks thoroughly and even asking someone else to double-check important projects. This change improved both the quality of my work and my professional confidence. The experience taught me that careful preparation is more valuable than speed.
Start speaking now.
In this picture, it appears that there has been a power outage in a residential neighborhood at night, probably caused by a fallen tree. On the right side of the image, I can see a tree that has fallen onto the power lines, which likely damaged the wires and caused the electricity to go out. In the foreground on the left, a man is kneeling and checking an electrical fuse box with a flashlight, possibly trying to see if the problem can be fixed from there. Near the center, a teenage boy is sitting on a low wall and looking at his phone, maybe to pass the time while waiting for the power to return. On the right side, an older man is holding a lantern and talking to another man who is holding a flashlight. In the background, several neighbors are standing outside their houses, and a utility truck is parked on the street while workers repair the power lines. Overall, everyone seems calm and cooperative despite the situation.
Start speaking now.
Looking at this picture, I think the workers will first remove the fallen tree from the power lines so they can safely repair the damaged wires. After that, they will probably restore the electricity to the neighborhood. Once the power comes back, the houses will light up, and people will likely go back inside their homes. The man who is checking the fuse box might stop working on it once he realizes the problem is coming from the main power line. The older man holding the lantern will probably go back home and no longer need the lantern for light. The boy who is sitting on the wall and using his phone will most likely go inside to charge his phone since his battery might be low. The neighbors who are standing and talking in the street will probably thank the workers before returning to their houses. Overall, the situation will likely be resolved within a short time.
Start speaking now.
Hi, Chris. I know you're leaning toward a beach vacation, and I can understand why. It's fun and relaxing, but I really think a mountain vacation would be a much better choice. First of all, the mountains are peaceful and quiet, which would give us a real break from our busy and noisy daily routine. Instead of crowded beaches, we could enjoy fresh air, beautiful views, and a much more relaxing environment. Also, a mountain trip would give us the chance to be physically active. We could go hiking, explore nature, and try new outdoor activities, which would be both fun and healthy. Another big advantage is the cool climate, which would be much more comfortable, especially if the weather is very hot at the beach. Overall, I think the mountains would be more refreshing, relaxing, and memorable for a vacation.
Start speaking now.
Hey, sweetie. I know you've been asking for a smartphone, and I understand why you want one, especially since many of your friends already have one. I'm not saying no because I want to upset you, but because I'm concerned about a few important things. I worry that a smartphone might distract you from school, sleep, and other important activities like reading or spending time with family. I also worry about screen time becoming a habit too early. Another important reason is online safety. The internet and social media can sometimes be unsafe, and I want to make sure you are mature enough to handle those situations responsibly. I'm not completely against the idea of you having a smartphone, but I feel that right now might be too early. Maybe we can start with a basic phone for calls and messages, and later, when you're a bit older and more responsible, we can talk about getting a smartphone. I hope you understand that I'm doing this because I care about you.
Start speaking now.
Well, I'd say spending money on experiences is generally more rewarding than spending it on material goods. Experiences, like traveling, attending concerts, or even taking a special class, tend to create lasting memories. Those memories often stay with us for years and can strengthen relationships, especially when shared with family or friends. In contrast, material items can lose their excitement over time. For example, buying a new phone feels exciting at first, but that feeling usually fades after a few months. That being said, material goods are still important. We need practical things, like a good laptop for work or comfortable furniture at home. Sometimes buying something useful can improve daily life in a meaningful way. So, personally, I believe it's about balance. If someone has basic necessities covered, investing in meaningful experiences can bring deeper satisfaction and personal growth compared to constantly buying new things.
Start speaking now.
Hi, Steve. I just arrived at the ice hotel I told you about, and it is honestly one of the most unusual places I have ever stayed in. Everything in this room is made of ice, including the walls, the bed frame, and even the decorations. The walls are covered with beautiful ice carvings of animals like wolves and bears, and even the furniture is carved from ice, which looks amazing but feels extremely cold. Outside the window, I can see snow-covered trees and even the northern lights, so the surroundings look absolutely magical. I actually booked this hotel out of curiosity after one of my colleagues told me about it. I was looking for a bit of adventure, but now I am not sure if I will be able to sleep comfortably here. Still, it is a very unique experience. Would you like to visit this place with me sometime in the future?